I will be staying at home. I have no intention of travelling or going on a holiday abroad this summer. Some people may, but they have to understand that there are obviously risks in doing so because it is a dynamic situation. But I think most people will probably decide this year to stay at home, holiday at home. We've got some fabulous places to visit in this part of the country, not least, of course, Cornwall, although it'll be a very, very busy summer, I'm sure. Holiday at home, we've got some great places here. There aren't many countries that are on that red list. But obviously, some people will want to travel abroad. There are still a small number of countries on that green list. If they want to do that, they can. But obviously, they'll have to understand that there are risks in doing so as well.
But I think we always knew it was a risk. So when we kind of discovered, we were in Portugal at the time when we saw the news coming through, and then everyone was messaging, asking us what we wanted to do, and we just decided to just come back when we'd originally planned, and we just quarantine. And luckily, both of us have been working from home for over a year and a half now, so we can work from home remotely, and it hasn't really affected us too much. They said that they'd given you some time. If it was on a green list, it would go to amber, and you'd have a bit of notice. But for us, it was only about 4 days, I think, and it wasn't. I think we kind of had assumed that you might get a bit more notice, and it was green when we flew out, and we were only going for a week, so we thought that was a safe enough time to be able to get back. The other thing I was just going to say that I think has been quite frustrating for us is there's not that much information about where you should get the test. There's all these different companies. No one seemed to sell a day 8 test. We already had a day 2 test. We ended up having to try and get a refund for the day 2 test and booking it as a bundle. And it was quite a bit of a nightmare. It was a lot of kind of researching before we'd come. And then when we were there, we're then suddenly having to try and Google on our phones while out in Porto how to get back. So yeah, it has been a bit confusing.
Cool.
It's just ridiculous, a gap of 7 hours and now we have to quarantine for 10 days. It just seems ridiculous. We've just been in Porto for 3 days to see family. Went to see my grandma who's got cancer. First time taking my daughter there, and everyone's walking around with masks. There's more cases in the UK than in Portugal. It just seems ridiculous. Panic really, I'm due to finish maternity leave, go back to work. I've now had to delay that for a week. She's due to go to nursery, that's all had to be moved. We looked at flights to come back on Monday. Yesterday it was £500 or more. As soon as you click on it, it just goes. There was just no option but to stick with what we were doing.